Hello, my friends. How are you doing? Welcome back to the Quantum Consciousness show. It's not a real show, it's a podcast. And this episode I want to do, last time we talked about awakening. I remembered, and what is awakening? And what is the flow? What is action? What is Kung Fu? What is Kung Fu Renaissance? What is general Kung Fu? And what is we are doing here? What do we see? So all these things wrapped together to prompt me to do a series of awakening. This awakening is to see if we can be awakened. I don't know. I'm in the process of awakening, and I see for the last 50 years, because my conflict, my struggles, my personal agonies and disease, the personal endeavor, the personal stride, the personal climbing for the so-called success, the trap of success, the materialism, the separation, the scarcity, the lacking. And then along with that, you have conflicts, you have emotions, you have separations, and you create conflicts, you create emotions, you create all kinds of disease, the state of the mind and the body. You see, that's why a lot of kids jumping off the window, jumping off the floor. They're not just hundreds, thousands of kids. Why? They're driven by this so-called success trap. The families tell them, you got to be study this, so that you can be successful. You must be doing this, so that I can get a girlfriend, to have a good family. You must study all this grooved education, day and night, especially the East, of course, as well as the West. We studied the information, we studied all that knowledge that has already been outdated. It is of the past. We refuse to learn new things because we are trapped in that separation, that ambition, that success, that more and more material, they get more, achieve more position, more status, more identity, more labels, more forms of fame, more power. That's precisely the old OS operation. That operation is programmed. That operation is full of thoughts, dissipated energy. That operation is full of conditioned mind, starting from centuries, millennium, even more, from that information of that double helix, genetic imprint from the families, from clans, that subconsciousness, operation, that pilot, automatic operation. You do something, you say some word, I immediately respond. You scream at me, you immediately respond back, and you want to give me a finger, I'm going to beat you up. You stop in front of me, I'm going to have a road rage. You see? It's automatic response. The socially polarization, your party this, your party that, and a race, and your race do this, your race has done this, your race has done that 1,000 years ago, your race have done this, It's all about what? About conflict, about that polarization, about that differentiation, about that separation, about that division. And your race had got much more, and our race don't have any. It's about materialism more and more. You rob me, I'm going to rob you. You put me down, I'm going to dominate over you. You manipulate me, I'm going to control you. It's all about a fight. Everything's about a competition. Today's competition, you see, we want to a certain degree. We came from a long way of competition. Competition get worse and worse and worse and worse. Today's society, you see the conflict between nations. You see the competitions between the nations. You see the competition between the races. You see the competitions, the differentiation between the religions, the divisions, the parties. We are coming to a peril of human crisis. We are coming to a peril of cascade, of falling into the abyss. It's like a domino effect. We must do something. What is the solution? No, we do together. We can explore. Don't you see? The diseased state give us body, give us a stress, give us a dissipation of the energy, get our telomere smaller and smaller. So the premise of the telomeres ending of the chromosome, that's the telomeres, become smaller and smaller, weaker. And we can do another way. What I call Kung Fu. The Kung Fu meditation, the Kung Fu breathing, the Kung Fu of flow, the Kung Fu of continuous learning, exploration, inner science of learning, inner science of consciousness, inner wisdom, instead of dwell on the smartness. Yes, we did beautiful things. Despite all that conflict, despite all that chaos, despite all that diseased state in personal, psychological, physical being, the disease of the state, the disease of the society, the disease of all kinds of things. But we still do well. We use the smart intelligence to go about, to create such a technology, such a beautiful science, to give us a lot of convenience. But that convenience can also destroy us. With the virus, with the chemical research, with the biological research, with the nuclear research, you have a hydrogen bomb, a nuclear bomb, you have AI, killing machines. We are in such a shocking danger. Don't we see? We come to cross the road, we must wake up. Otherwise, the only choice is to perish. The perishing of the humanity. Are you willing to? Are you ready for that? I see another way. Not because I did Kung Fu all my life, or did a meditation all my life, or did a breathing all my life, did Zen exploration of my life, studied Taoist of my life, and I studied as a Christian, as a Protestant Christian. Not as a Baptist. I was baptized later in Mobile, Alabama. But before that time, I was in China. I was born from the Christian family, a Protestant Christian family. The whole family was with the American school, American missionaries. From my maternal great-grandmother to my grandmother, my maternal grandfather, they all belong to that church. And I was baptized when I was born. But I studied Old Testament. Old Testament, you have all kinds of things. You have the beautiful things, but also you have limitations. What are the limitations? Jesus believed all human beings are equal. All Gentiles can be saved by God. Everybody is a son of God, daughter of God. Daughter of God. That's what Jesus said. And then you have Moses, and you have Jewish belief. It's not that good. They're just limitations, partial. Only Jews can be saved, no Gentiles. Not even anybody else. Jesus is one of the innovators in that society with a new OS. Don't you agree? And then you have, of course, Gautama. Definitely the new OS. See the superficial surface. See that display of this interface. You see that the material world as a pure appearance. All that, just the drama appearance. It's never even reveal anything behind that veil of illusions. Everything is empty. That infinite empty is that infinite potential. These are lots from the nothingness, that infinite great void, the infinite of nothingness. And in the Zen is a combination of Tao and Buddhist. You see that infinite void, that infinite freedom, the infinite potentiality with no limitations. The limitation is we put ourselves. That's precisely that materialism, that separation, the limitation, all that are the virus. Corrupted our humanity, corrupted our inner being. It's time we come across in this space-time to wake up, to see that old operation system, it's in its expression, it's expiring, it's done. We must immediately together co-create a new system, a new OS. That OS is a connected universe. That OS is to observe, to tap in, to connect. The interconnected microcosm of the universe. The inner universe, the inner consciousness of the science. Let's explore together. Let's connect together. Let's see that inflow. That kung fu of inflow. That's the new OS. Without conflicts, without efforts, without fight, without competition, without all that diseased states. I call it inflow of kung fu, reprogramming our life, our inner being. Our all conflicts, all that fight, all that emotions come from where? The reflection of the inside. It's a manifestation of our internal being. Now, if we change the internal being, we change the outside. We change the outer expression. Don't you agree? So inflow is important, but inflow, how do we do inflow? We must stop the old past, stop that chaotic thinking, stop the conditioned mind, stop that conformity of our body, our mind, that collective non-consciousness, co-pilot creation of the past. Now we co-create the future. Because if we can create the past, we definitely can simulate, create the future. That is in flow. But we must pause. Otherwise, we always flow. We always like the garbage clothing. In what? In the big container of the old OS, that machine, that washing machine. Dong 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 dong. Never get out. Pause. Pause. You may see from that flow, we can create new antenna, perceiving, conceiving new life in flow. That might connect with what? With a beautiful cosmic consciousness. What I call it unified field, unified quantum field of conscious cosmos, macro and micro. I said thousands of times for the last 50 years, we are the microcosm of the universe. A lot of people, if you see my old speeches, talks, that's what I see. That's why I call myself, I'm the cosmos. I'm the humanity. We are the earth. We need to take care of ourselves. If we destroy the earth, that's what we are doing. We separate the earth as an earth, and we are totally different from earth. The earth is a stone. Earth is a forest. They have nothing to do with us. We explore them. We dig them. We exploit them. That separation. We are in conflict with the earth. We destroy the earth, we destroy ourselves. We destroy the river, we destroy ourselves. We destroy the mountains, we destroy ourselves. Don't you agree? We disconnect ourselves from the nature. Wake up. We are destroying ourselves. We are in the peril that the age of doomsday, the casket of falling into the abyss. There's no promise. Promise is nothing. But do it. Do what? Let's pause. Take a breath. Take another breath. To empty our mind. To see our energy flow. To open ourselves. To connect ourselves with the nature. To connect ourselves with the quantum field. To connect ourselves with the grand, infinite void. The compassion, the love that connects us all. The matrix of the cosmos. We are just nodes of, dots of the grand matrix. But we are the matrix because we're holographic. We're holographic. Every point represents the whole, contains the whole, transmits the whole. But we live in the old OS. The old OS said what? Okay, everything is accidental. Everything is mechanical. Everything is like dead, rigid, dead. Are we dead? Are we rigid? The universe is dead? Is it accidental? Is it all material? Don't you agree? I don't agree. Everything is like a Newtonian separate, like a Newtonian idea of fixed, Newtonian idea of determinism. To say the nism, you have this nism, that ism, that ism, that ism, separate of us all into different groups, fight all the time. That's internal. What? It's internal conflict, the internal expression to exposed. That's all it is. The internal belief. That's what we believe. That's our conformity. That is our education. That was our dogma. That was our thoughts, conditioned, taught, brainwashed by millennium. Don't you agree? Today is even more worse. The media, the newspaper, the television, the computer, then the cell phone. Everybody check the cell phone all the time. You see, you go to China, you see the airport, you see the bus station, you see the inside of the railroad. What I say inside of the subway system or the bullet train. Everybody's doing this. The United States, same thing. Don't you agree? The kids, totally brainwashed by that scarcity, by that materialism, by that so-called, I call virus, they call success model. Let's get out. Let's pause a moment. That's why I want to see. I'm going to do a series of episodes to deeply explore the scarcity OS, the material OS, the conflict OS into a inflow OS, into kung fu of inner observation, inner self-learning, inner self-unveiling, the greatest potential OS. Instead of destroy ourselves, maybe we together with all humanity, all interstellar travelers, all galaxy conscious beings together. Without the creation of AI, technology, and science, and we can see them as what? As partners. Instead of the scarcity, instead of the fear, instead of the terrorized by AI, by AGI, because AGI is the mirror of ourselves, our scarcity, our monster behaviors, our killings, our conflicts, our war, our competition reflected in that information of the AI. We see that. We see our mirror. Can we change that? Our expression can change that. Our genetics can be changed. That's why we have epigenetics. People think from thousands of years ago they already see that. Lao Tzu see that as from formless to forms, from forms to formless. Said it clearly. Everything can be changed. Everything is a fleetable moment, according to Lao Tzu and Gautama, the Buddha. Nothing is real because we We believe it's so real. When people say it's simulated, when people say it's an interface, we quarrel with them. Because our particle physics tell us everything is a particle. It's a material. It's accidental. The consciousness is created by neurons, by material. That's the belief. That's not a science. That's exploration of the external fragmented world. Let's see the interconnected world, that the very fabric of the universe, the very fabric of the life, that consciousness, that compassion, that love connects it all. That cooperation, that harmony, that reverse of the entropy. The old OS definitely give you tremendous increase of the entropy, but the new OS reverse the entropy. We have plenty of evidence. We can talk to you in the future. Next time, I'm going to introduce you the first step of the Kung Fu. That Kung Fu is cosmic intent, breath. I call cosmic consciousness, mad breath. Cosmic mad breath is the one we're going to introduce you. And we work together, and then move together, co-create together, and pause together, and deep dive into our inner being. From the inner being, express out to a total different world. We can together co-create a new OS, a new humanity from 0-1, 1-0, from that range of the old OS to a new 1.0 to 2.0 and beyond. That's a new humanity, new civilization. We are co-creating. Just through the stone, you make the container of the jade, of the crystal ball, of that infinite virtual reality manifested into the visible world of being. A new humanity is rising. You and me, we together co-creating. Thank you. See you next time, next Friday, and then we together get into the flow of Kung Fu, that deeper meditation, that deep breathing, to change the physiology. First, to change our chaotic thinking, to give us some pause, to expand our neuron, to change the shape of the brain, to change the synapses, to change the neural transmission. We have a lot of evidence. Stanford, Harvard, in China, a lot of universities in China. Many people have done that. And I have done that since 1980s. I did my research and I presented my paper at the Federation of Experimental Biology meeting. It's a FASAP. Federation American Society for Experimental Biology, 1990. I did that research. That can change, that meditation, that flow of movement of the body and the movement of the mind, the movement of the chi, the movement of the breath, can change the moment of the reality, can change the psychological being and the physiological being, and then change our antenna from the old OS antenna, the rusty antenna, to a new antenna. I hope you understand my metaphor, and we see you next time. Thank you.